Can you shut up?
We've got big bones! We've got big bones! We've got big bones! Nasty big bones!
Welcome to the Raw Dogger Sportscast. I'm Sean Watson.
And I'm Ryan Kessler.
What is going on? We're heading into Christmas week.
Yeah, another win for the Browns this weekend.
Fantastic win. Actually, I really love the way the NFL did the 3 games on Saturday. It was like having an extra Thanksgiving.
It almost doesn't, but almost makes me wish there wasn't any college football.
Yeah,
I like Saturday
we
games.
get that college bullshit out of the way and get to the pros.
I mean, it'd be really nice if they could do it earlier in the year, so I could go up there on Saturday and feel like shit Sunday.
Of course, I feel like we missed the Charmin Who Gives a Shit Bowl on Saturday between South Central Louisiana State University and Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody cares.
CSLU Mud Dogs.
Anyway, so let's get right down to it. Browns 13, Ravens 3. The Browns improved to 6-8. Deshaun Watson getting his first home start. Gets a victory on his first home start. That's always great.
Look good.
I don't know what the stats are on that. On the last time the Browns starting quarterback won on his...
Jeff Garcia.
Was it Jeff Garcia? What was that, 2007?
2004.
2004? Oh my goodness. All right.
Well, all right, so I guess technically Baker came in that Jets game, but...
No, I mean his start.
Yeah, he didn't win his first start in Cleveland. Yeah, it was Jeff Garcia. Unless there was somebody at the end of the season, but even then, I mean, how many fucking games have we won in December and since '99?
Right. So I just want to kind of throw this out there for all you Jacoby slurpers, and not that I don't care about what Jacoby did for this club, but there is definitely a progression that we're seeing with Watson here.
We just played the second best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we had 2 missed kicks, and there's 19 points. I mean,
yeah.
And the way the game was, they did exactly what they had to do. They moved the ball well. He made some really good throws.
Right.
Used his feet, made the right decisions.
But
played really well.
So just some stats for you Jacobians out there. By the way, R.I.P. Josh Dobbs, who just got signed with Tennessee today.
Yeah, I don't get to see your Josh Dobbs message every week. He's been cut, right?
No, right.
Okay.
No, but the Tennessee signed him today, I guess.
Wow.
So much for that Malik guy, the rookie. Apparently they're going to put Dobbs in because looks like Tannehill might be out for this weekend.
They're not going to play Malik?
I don't know. Why did they sign Dobbs? Are you going to back up Malik, maybe?
Well, yeah, you have to have at least 2 quarterbacks on the active roster.
I guess. I'd put Vrabel in there.
Well, yeah. Run the option.
Right.
Well, Tannehill played through his injury, didn't he?
Well, he did last weekend because I know he was questionable, but now he's really questionable. Of course, I don't have a whole lot of faith in Tannehill anyway. I mean, I put him in that tier of quarterbacks Kirk Cousins. I know you're not going to hear that, but Tannehill's going to Tannehill.
No, I mean, yeah, it's the same.
I mean,
that's the same thing.
Yeah, right.
I still think Kirk is better than him. But.
Oh, I do too. I think he is too. So Watson's progression, we'll go ahead and throw this graphic up there for you. But so when they played Houston, he was 12 for 22, 131, and interception. He had a 53 rating. At Cincinnati, 26 for 42, 263. Of course, he threw the ball a lot more because we had to.
Yeah.
1 touchdown, 1 interception, 79 rating. Big jump. Played the Ravens, 18 of 28 for 161. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 91.5 rating. So in 3 weeks, he's basically jumped 40 points in QB rating.
Right.
That's definitely a progression.
And against tougher and tougher defenses.
Yes.
And, I mean, Njoku was definitely held on that fade ball that he threw that was a dime that I think he didn't get away with that holding penalty in the end zone. That would have been 2 tutties.
Right.
But, yeah.
Well, we'll get into that, but I mean, just what a great route that was ran by DPJ there to get that touchdown, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Deshaun, what I love most about Deshaun is he doesn't panic.
Right.
Like, even if he takes a sack, what do you fucking do?
Right.
Even if you're gonna take a sack or two in a game, like he'll do that. But then, like, what was it? Was it a 3rd and 13 or something that he got that first?
Yeah,
down?
I think so. Yeah.
Went right up the middle, and you could just tell, like, dude, good luck. Like when he looks really comfortable now, but when the comfort factors there,
Right.
and they're not playing, when they're not playing in shit weather in week 4 through 12.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't a pristine night to throw. It wasn't a horrible night.
No.
But, this week coming up, I don't expect him to have going passing numbers.
Yeah, we're going to get into that too. But definitely starting to get more comfortable with the offense, that's for sure. Started with the 4th possession of the game. The Browns went the length of the field. Started on their own 25. Ended up with a 23-yard Cade York field goal. The drive kind of stalled there.
I think that was the drive where Njoku got held.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the same
he threw
one.
a nice fade into the back of the end zone there.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it was a great drive. I think there's still a couple plays here and there that you can see where he misses a guy. I mean, it's just he's going to get used to the offense.
It's going to come.
And you see it build every week.
Right. We see it come. I mean,
that dart he threw to Amari on that crossing route.
Yeah.
I mean, that was beautiful.
But he's definitely targeting Njoku and DPJ quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I think DPJ is a solid number 2 at this point. I mean, the guy has a chance to break 1,000 yards this year. Well, I mean, it's a really good possibility. Well,
this week,
probably not. But if it wasn't for this week, who knows what the last 2 weeks are going to hold too. Although those are away games. I mean, he's at over 750 yards now. Him and Amari could both be 1,000-yard receivers on this team in a run-first type offense.
Right.
So.
And that's with as well as Jacoby played. I mean, you put Deshaun in this offense, you can see it grow every week.
Right.
I think DBJ might be more 800 yards.
Maybe he is. I thought I saw something like 760 something, maybe.
Might be right.
But I could be wrong.
782.
782. Okay. All right.
Yes, I mean he'll be really close. I think the only thing that'll stop him is this week.
This week.
I think they'll probably be able to throw the ball a little bit when we go to Washington, but Pittsburgh's kind of a crapshoot.
Right. So then on the next drive by the Ravens, Ward intercepts the ball at the Cleveland 9, which is great. It's great to see our defense showing up again.
And Ward showing up.
Yeah,
finally.
They're consistently showing up. Browns drove the field, 12 plays for 91 yards, a touchdown to DPJ, like I said. Ward and Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson, sorry.
Or John Johnson?
John Johnson, yes.
Oh.
John Johnson the third, I'm sorry.
Yes.
They showed up big time. I mean, Ward had the interception, a field goal block. I was looking at the stats on this, and I could have swore that I saw on the replay that Ward's the one that blocked that field goal.
I thought it was too.
But they gave it to somebody else. Is it
No, it was
Elliott?
Yeah, it was one of the tackles.
Okay, but I could have swore it was it? It looked like Ward did. I mean,
he's usually the one that gets
right. So, but anyway, regardless, he definitely got back in there, and then Jefferson. Or Johnson, I'm sorry again, with the forced fumble against Denard Robinson. That was a great punch out. Unfortunately, Cade York missing some field goals again. What do you think? What are we doing? Are we back to the drawing board on the kickers?
Phil Dawson was 61% his first year in Cleveland.
First year, okay. What's Cade York? I don't have that number, but
I think he's around 70.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he started 8 for 8 and then has been around 60%, 65% since then.
Right.
There was like, some of the kicks just been inexcusable. And like I said on one of our earlier pods, for whatever reason, whenever our punter is a holder for a kicker, they have the worst season ever. So I don't know if there's something to do with that.
Right.
But it just seems like sometimes he's just not hitting the ball, like hitting it good. Like, I don't know. If it's what they need to do is say, hey, Phil, come up here and be our kicking coach. They need a kicking coach. Baltimore has one, and Justin Tucker's the best kicker in the NFL. He missed a couple kicks, got one blocked against us Saturday, but
I think Cade York on Saturday.
You got to give him another year. You drafted the guy,
right?
And he's got
third round, so
he can kick it from 70. So
right.
I mean, I don't know. He won the first game of the year for us.
Yes, he did. Let's not forget that. That's
So,
true.
He
But I
also
think he
lost that Chargers game. Which,
I think he should just go old school and just go barefoot on Saturday. Blizzard-like conditions. It's going to
Just
look like a blue toe
toe
out
dash
there.
it?
Yeah, it'll be a solid block of ice. He might hit him from 80.
it's going to be
Going
like,
for 60-mile-an-hour winds.
it's going to be like Red Right 88, isn't it? I mean, that's.
It's going to be bad.
I don't
It's
even know
gonna
if
be
you
bad.
can kick a field goal in that kind of condition.
I don't know what we're going. Well, obviously the run game's going to be huge. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think I definitely see some regression in the run blocking. You know, I have seen.
Teller is banged up, and if he's, I know Posich is off the IR, so hopefully he can play this Saturday if he can. If you can move Yoldi over and give Wyatt a week off, maybe.
Right. Well, I think I saw Conklin today as a DNP, at least for right now. So I mean, I don't know.
Probably just a Veterans Day rest.
It could be.
Because I can
normally.
see that Miles is sick, and
Yes, he had illness.
Nick Chubb didn't practice.
Yeah, that's probably a rest
Well,
type
that's that
situation. Yeah, I did. I think I read about that earlier in the week, but I think Nick Chubb's going to play.
I honestly think that Kareem Hunt might be a better back in this type of game,
It could be. Could be.
because he's more north-south and
Well, not only that, but man, when it's like -8 wind chill out there, do you want to try to tackle that tank? I mean, that's going to hurt.
no, it's gonna man. I wonder how they're gonna keep the field ready, because the temperature's gonna drop dramatically.
Right.
That could just immediately be a sheet of ice.
So Browns 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. They only committed 3 penalties. Big improvement from the Cincinnati game. They had 9 penalties in that game.
When they actually only probably committed like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Browns also controlling the time of possession, 33 minutes. I mean, just an all-around, just great game for the Browns here on almost all facets, except for maybe a couple field goals there missed by Cade York.
You gotta get better in the red zone, but I still think
Yeah,
they're fine.
I think that's going to come though.
I think it'll come, and I think it'll come too when they don't let Baltimore rape receivers.
Right.
That team just, every time I watch us play.
Well, Humphrey especially. He's just awful.
Why are you letting these guys get away with that?
I mean, even the announcers are even saying something about Humphrey, like, yeah, you can basically do that. I mean, as long as you don't get busted.
Right.
I mean, they're basically saying, yeah, that probably should have been flagged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time we play.
Right. Anyway.
Anytime they play anybody, actually, they just get away with shit.
So we're kind of getting into this, but the Browns face the Saints this Saturday and are favored by 3. The over-under may be the lowest one this season. It opened at 32. I mean, I'm talking across the NFL. It is now down to 31.5. Just for your information, the record over-under is 28 back in 1993 in a Bears-Patriots game. That's just absolutely crazy. I mean, that's like be like a Division VI high school over/under. Where like their best player is the running back, quarterback, kicker,
right?
All the above, that kind of situation.
Especially in today's NFL.
Oh, it's just crazy. I mean, it's going to get nasty all around the league this week. It's going to just get nasty. I think they're calling for.
Unless you're in California or Florida.
Right. I think they're calling for the coldest wind chill might be at Soldier Field. I think I might have saw like maybe -12 real feel or -13. Browns Saints games -8 real feel. Blizzard-like conditions, though. I don't know. I don't know if the wind gusts are going to be higher in Cleveland than Chicago this weekend.
I did see that the wind gusts are now down to gusts up to 30 and pretty much consistent 15 to 17.
Okay.
So that's not horrible.
No.
But I still don't know if you can throw it with how cold it's going to be.
Right. Well, that's the thing too is.
But they heat the balls, so I don't know. Maybe they'd be able to.
Yeah.
Because if it gets so cold, it's like throwing a rock.
Right. Right. So.
Might have to Teddy 2 gloves that are.
Well, we might have to call Tom Brady and deflate some shit.
Yeah, or Kenny Pickett, get his gloves.
So now.
So does he put an extra pair of gloves on this week?
Yeah, he might. Well, I saw that he's
They're in the Rockies.
He's day to day. Yeah, he is day to day, Kenny Pickett. We'll get into that though. But so now the Browns have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. There's a chance. For making the playoffs, I kind of wrote this down here. It's going to have to go something like this. So you have Miami is 8-6. They have games against the Packers, which they need to lose. The Pats, they need to lose. Jets, they need to lose. New England 7-7. They have games against the Bengals that they need to lose. The Dolphins, they actually need to win to help us out. Bills a loss. Jets 7-7. Games against the Jags, take an L. Seahawks L, and a win against the Dolphins. So we're asking the Jets and the Patriots to get wins, but only one over the next 3 games. We also have Baltimore sitting at 9-5. And if they take 3 L's and we take 3 W's over the next 3, we have the tiebreaker. Is that correct?
Yeah, we would have the tiebreaker. So, to me, the most likely scenario for us to make the playoffs is if the Falcons can win. I really don't see Baltimore beating Pittsburgh and Cincinnati at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have to have one other team, which I would think would be the Jets. They could lose every game that they play.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Even if they get one of those, if those 2 things happen.
Well, if they get one, let's hope it's the one against the Dolphins. That's what we want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't see the Dolphins losing 3 games.
Well, they just lost 3 in a row. So they got the Packers this week and Miami though, but they just lost 3 straight.
They're too good. They're too good to lose 3
Right.
straight. Especially I don't see the Packers beating Miami.
I don't think they're going to either. I
just don't think they have enough offense.
I think Cowherd was even all over that, so I don't think it's. I agree with him. I don't think it's going to happen.
To me, it's still the most likely. Either the Jets or the Chargers. As much as the Colts fucked up last week, I still think they're a tough out.
Yeah.
And the Rams, I mean, they could just have one of those games. And Broncos Chargers, that's a rivalry. You kind of hope that they would lose out there, but
I mean,
that's.
Not to interject here, but I guess Big Dick Nick Foles is going to start for the Colts this week.
Right.
That could kind of energize the team a little bit.
Big Dick Nick.
Plus the cheerleaders.
Right, plus cheerleaders. But I could
maybe Irsay, I don't know.
I could definitely see Baltimore losing out.
I mean, I think the Chargers are probably going to get the chances that the Chargers don't at least get one more win, because we'd be tied with them even if they only won one more, is unlikely, especially going against the Colts, Rams, and Broncos. I mean, those should be 3 W's for them. But I think, the best path for us, of course, is to keep Baltimore from getting in, and we get in.
Yeah.
So
you have that, and I don't see New England or the Jets finishing better than 8-9.
And who knows, after this week, even if we do win, there's a possibility we could be eliminated this week.
Yeah.
So, it could happen.
Nothing we're not used to.
Right. Yeah, right. Especially since, all those AFC East teams are not playing each other in this coming week.
Right.
If all 3 of those teams won,
I don't see New England beating the Bengals.
I don't either. And I think the Jets and the Jags are going to be tough.
I think the Jags win that game.
Yeah. Is that New? I didn't look. I don't know if that's in New York or not.
I don't think it is. I think
because that's a Sunday game, so they'll probably be getting a lot of that weather that we're getting in Cleveland on Saturday. It has to be a Sunday game.
It is at home.
For the Jags?
Wait. It's at the Jets.
At the Jets, okay.
See, tomorrow? Is that the...
Oh, is that the Thursday night
Thursday
game?
night game?
Oh,
so
wow, okay.
Should be okay.
Oh, way off.
Well, yeah, it should be okay, right? It might be a little cold.
Yeah. Does it have a forecast on there or no? No?
Yeah, I could probably...
Well, maybe that front will come through a little faster.
I wouldn't want it to.
Right here in North Central Ohio, of course, we're... Yeah, me neither, but...
Jets weather, cold, rainy conditions expected, so...
Okay. Well, you're also kind of along that coast,
projecting, to be in the 40s at kickoff with chances of rain over 80, high winds.
Wow.
But, again, the Jets their offense is nothing to be afraid of.
No, but the Jags running defense isn't very good. So, if it's high winds, it probably is going to favor the Jets, I would think. ETN's... the Jets' defense is pretty good.
Yeah, that's their back.
So, this could definitely be, a Jets game, or at least favored in this game. I mean, with those kind of weather
But
conditions.
I could also see Jacksonville pulling that out. They're hot.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, then, so hopefully the Steelers' only win comes against Baltimore. And Raiders and Jags, we have to concern ourselves with them as well. The Steelers play the Raiders, I believe it's this Saturday night, or is it Saturday night? Maybe Sunday night. So
I don't see the Raiders winning out.
no.
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Raiders beat the Steelers though.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, but it's kind of tough because both those teams are 6-8, just like we are. So
Yeah, but again, if it comes down to either of those two teams, I mean,
right.
I don't know. I think do they have a worse chance than we do? Probably.
I would think. I mean, it's got to be at least the same as ours.
Right.
I mean, yeah. All right, moving on here. Bengals 34, Bucks 23.
Jesus.
Yeah. So as we were rooting for the Bucks, the first time in my life I've probably ever rooted for Tom Brady. So, and he, basically screws me
Took
again.
shit.
Yeah. So Bucks are leading the game at halftime, 17-3. Tom Brady with 4 turnovers in the second half, 3 in the third quarter, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Basically gave the Bengals an easy comeback on them there. Then Giovanni Bernard had kind of a weird reaction on a fake punt play by Tampa here. I didn't know if you saw this or not, but he was basically talking about, we'll put that up for you guys, but they're talking to him about it, and he's trying to just be the bigger guy and blame himself, and then they're asking, well, do you really know if it's a fake punt? He's like, no. And then I don't know if you really heard the question or not, but it's just really, really odd, but we'll play it for you.
Last night, a Bucks reporter posted a somewhat controversial video about Gio Bernard, and here's what she says in her tweet about it. It says, Bucks running back Giovanni Bernard did not want to talk to the media about what happened on the botched fake punt. Here's that interaction. Note, as reporters, it is our job to seek clarity on what happened, especially on the most pivotal play of a game. I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Here's the video.
You were injured all year.
What have you done for us to talk to you about all year? I talked to you Tuesday. Just don't say you're not talking because I didn't talk to you all year.
You were also injured most of the season too.
Just relax. Can
Can I go to my family that I have outside? And
You
all
can.
of a sudden now?
Just don't say we didn't talk to you all year.
We just wanted to ask for your perspective on what happened
You're
there.
involved in one of the biggest plays of the game.
Okay. Thank you, Duke.
I appreciate
That's
your
all.
time, we do.
We won't hold you.
We would have talked to you in the season, but also you were injured.
Just tell us what occurred on the play. Miscommunication, that's all it was on my part. I take complete fault for that.
Did
Was
you
it a
know-
fake? I don't know. It was complete fault. My fault. That's it.
Did you know if it was done?
It's all me. All me. That's something I did wrong, and that's all.
So you were
It was all
aware?
on me. Yep, number 25 out there, that was me. I was the one that did it.
But were you aware
It was just me. Yeah, I messed up.
I understand that, but we're just asking if you knew it was
I
We
messed
just
up.
didn't know if it was a communication
Yeah, I
breakdown.
messed up.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So NFL players are required to speak to the media under their contract, right? So that's why he's talking to them. However, if you're a member of the media, or if you have any profession that requires you to speak to other people, you should have a certain level of decorum when speaking to them. In my opinion, both members of the media here, the man and the woman speaking, the man especially, are extremely, extremely rude to Gio. Like, you don't have to tell someone they've been injured all year 5 times in a minute. Like, they know. And I think that there is just a better way to go about asking these questions. And if you are going to come at someone hostilely, you're not going to get the answers that you want. You're not going to get someone that's freely speaking. So those are my thoughts on this. What do you guys think?
Old Gio Bernard. So I remember him on Hard Knocks. I mean, he was just smoking fast. I mean, he was super fast.
I can't believe he's still in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, he was with the Andy Dalton Bengals.
Yeah. Joe Burrow, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He hit 4 different receivers, including Chase Higgins Boyd and the backup to Hayden Hurst, Wilcox. So Brady, 30 for 44, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks and 2 fumbles, like I said. Is Leftwich and Bowles this bad, or has Brady just gotten this bad? Or the Tampa just can't get a ground game going anymore. I mean, Brady's consistently throwing 40 passes a game or more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything like off with his throwing.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line isn't very good right now. I don't think they can run the ball. It's hard to be a stand in the pocket type quarterback right now with the pass rushes that you're going to face.
Well, I mean, Leftwich certainly isn't making his case to be a head coach in the league right now.
No, last year would have been the year for him to win somewhere.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Brady's there next year, whether he retires or whatever, what have you. And I thought it'd be San Francisco, but they might have their
Brock Purdy might be their guy.
fucking Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, Trey Lance, they got too much draft capital in that guy, but man, that guy might just like go to the CFL. I don't know. I
don't see how you start him over Purdy. If you,
I don't either.
Away.
I mean, if Purdy just keeps on rolling. Well, and especially if Purdy gets you as far as Jimmy G did, in the playoffs.
Yeah, because he's an athlete. I mean, Purdy can run.
Purdy can run the ball, which Jimmy doesn't have that.
Right, and that's what you wanted with Trey.
Right. And he's younger.
And cheaper.
Absolutely. So I don't see why.
I mean, somebody would probably want to trade. I mean, you're not going to get a bunch of capital back for him. Somebody would want to trade for
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Yeah. Well, I think somebody would, be willing to still give you something for Jimmy Garoppolo too. So.
Yeah. His injury history is the only reason you're not going to get a first round pick.
That's the problem with
Probably a third, maybe fourth and a fifth, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But between the two of them, maybe you could get some of that draft capital back. I don't know.
Not that they even need it. They're freaking loaded.
Oh, they are loaded. They are. Steelers 24, Panthers 16.
Didn't watch any of this game.
I actually was flipping back and forth here. I was watching some of the red zone of it too. Pretty uneventful game. Panthers did get within one score late in the fourth quarter. Trubisky unable to throw a pick, along with Pickett. Stringing his 5th week in a row without a pick. Congrats, Kenny. I know you're on the sideline, but, every little week helps. Pittsburgh, like I said, still tied with us. Could potentially come down to the last game of the season. Potentially. I mean, that's a long ways off. We just got to take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
But it would be really cool if that last game came.
Meant something.
Meant
for both
something.
Teams.
Yeah. We said Ohio State, Michigan in the national, the Final Four was a long shot early in the season. I think that was probably a bigger long shot than maybe this happening. To tell you the truth, I really do think that it's a possibility that both those teams could be,
still in the hunt.
Yeah, in Asper Cream Stadium.
I mean, I was watching some of these old NFL film videos about, I forget what year it was. I think it was 2000. Maybe no, it could have been like 98 or something. No, maybe 2001. Where it was like the Packers, the Panthers. It was like people were, the tiebreaker was down to like points scored, so they were having to. I mean, shit happens.
Oh yeah.
As long as you got a chance, man, keep playing.
Yeah, it's like poker.
I just hope that we can move another week and we still have hope.
Exactly. I just don't want us to take this L, and then all of a sudden, I saw Jarvis. Of course, he's going to want to show out up in Cleveland, but I saw that he's been lingering. He's had lingering injuries all season long.
Yeah, he's got to that point in his career.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably in hindsight, and I really love Jarvis. In hindsight, it's probably good that the Browns unloaded him. Anyway, so Trubisky, 17-22, 179 yards. Like I said, 0 interceptions, 0 touchdowns throwing, but he did scramble for a touchdown. It's about the only thing Trubisky really can do.
Right.
And Najee Harris and Jalen Warren also scored a rushing touchdown. So Darnold, 14-23 for 225 yards, a touchdown to DJ Moore. I just want to say this. Somebody please free DJ Moore.
Right.
We went from, we freed Matt Stafford, free DJ Moore. I don't know why they're hanging on to him. Just
ruining his Hall of Fame
life.
credentials.
I mean, this is a guy, and DJ Moore never says anything.
No,
but
awesome.
He's kind of like Amari Cooper 2.0. He just goes out there and plays.
Wonder if we could get him.
I know, it would be fantastic.
Imagine him,
Oh,
him fucking Amari.
DPJ and Amari.
DPJ.
Oh, and Njoku. Yeah, that'd be really good. And there's some other good tight ends. I mean, if we could really solidify another tight end in there, a secondary tight end, there's some good tight ends from what I understand coming out of college football this year. So
Yeah, keep drafting them.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Chiefs only tied down for another 3 years technically.
Right.
Have
Right.
somebody waiting in the wings.
Sure. Well, but it would be nice though too if you're running those 2 or 3 tight end sets, and you got 2 legitimate threats out there. So now when you're going,
Mismatches.
yeah, now when you got 2 tight ends and let's say 3 wide receivers, and maybe Chubb or Kareem Hunt in the slot, and now you basically got 6 receivers out there. You're not covering that. I mean, if you have 2 legitimate receiving tight ends, you're not covering that. I don't care what defense. What are you doing? What are you rushing to?
Right.
You dropping 9 in
Yeah,
coverage?
Deshaun's going to eat that up.
Yeah. And if you did rush to, Deshaun Watson's just going to escape and run for the first down.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely free DJ Moore. We're going to start a fund here. We got to get that guy out of there. Cowboys 34, Jags 40. Starting off with our schizophrenic NFL. This is starting the first game right here. Cowboys led this game 27-9 at one point in the third quarter. The Jags came back. They scored 17 in the third. So Dallas had the lead 34-31 with a minute 28 left in the fourth quarter, but went 3 and out after 2 stuffed run plays and a missed Dak Prescott pass on third down to give the ball right back to the Jags, who used 2 timeouts on that drive. Not 3, 2. To save time on the clock. Jags went down, tied the game, 5 seconds left, kicked a field goal. So my question to you, Ryan, is this, and there's different schools of thought here. Obviously, you have a third down situation there. Jags have only used 2 timeouts, but you have under a minute 28 left, and you throw that ball and you complete that and convert that, the game's over. Because they're going to call timeout, then you're going to kneel down twice and game's over. But I kind of lean on the other side of it, where I think I still would have ran that ball and punted that ball away. At least you would have had, you're under the 2-minute warning that's burning the Jags' final timeout. Because they're not going to not call that timeout. I mean, they have to call it. Because otherwise you're just going to run the ball down and then, you're going to take a delay of game and now you're going to have like 30 seconds left. You're the Jags. I don't know. What do you think?
Where were they on the field?
I think that they were, the punt, it was a pretty good punt. I'd have to look that back up.
So, my thing,
they were in their territory. I'm just saying on third down,
right,
instead of Dak throwing the ball,
I know, but even
run the ball.
If they're on the plus side, run the ball so you can get close enough, or if it's a 4th and 2, then you can go for it. That's tough.
It's tough.
I really don't like playing this game because it's always like, if it doesn't work, it was wrong.
Right.
But yeah, if it was me, 128 left, you only have a 3-point lead. So for me, if I had a good play that I wanted to run on third down, I'm trying to get the first down and icing it. And
and that would ice it.
It would ice it.
Right.
I get what you're saying, but even if you run it, they use their last timeout, and you got a punt, they still got a minute and 20-some seconds left.
They do.
So you really don't need a timeout at that point.
No. But it's still, what it does is then they don't have that timeout to use on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe they run out of time, even if they get down the field to get
but they're just
their
trying
field goal unit in.
They're just trying to get a field goal. Now,
Right.
if you were up by, if it was 35-31, yeah, run the ball.
Right.
Because
And
then
punt it away.
they have to go the whole
It's tough.
the whole field.
McCarthy's a boob, so whatever. But I don't know. I think there's one or two. I guess.
Well, and the thing is too, at that point in the game, Jacksonville had all the momentum.
They did.
So
They did.
you had to get the first down. I think they were just trying to kill it.
So anyway, Jags come down. They kick the field goal, send the game in overtime. Dak Prescott gets the ball, throws a pick 6 to end the game. Dak Prescott, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Dak Prescott, and I'm not really a fan or not a fan of Dak Prescott. I know there's a huge Cowboys fan base. But, man, if I'm looking at this objectively, with this kind of defense they have and the running game and the two backs that they have, and you've got CeeDee Lamb and you've got Schultz, and, I mean, Dak Prescott, I think he could be the hindrance for this Cowboys team. Because he had a pick last week where Houston could have, would have, should have won that game. They had it down inside, down to the Dallas 5-yard line. They went for it on a 4th down, and they didn't get it. But, I mean, he threw that pick down there in the 4th quarter.
So what else is Dallas supposed to do?
Oh, they can't do anything. They've got too much money tied to Dak.
Dak's good.
I'm not saying Dak's not good, but I'm just saying.
I don't know about it if it's hindering. I think your next thing are 503 yards on the defense.
That's bad. And we know this Cowboys defense is a lot better than that.
Dak is going to be Dak. So they're going to have to play well on defense and not put too much on him at the end of games, since he's obviously not ready for that. But he should be at this point in his career. I don't know. I kind of like Dak down there. I like their offense. But, I mean, it is kind of, what happened in the playoffs last year. Like, at some point he's going to have to turn that around. But, I mean, Peyton Manning went through the same thing.
Yeah.
At least in the playoffs, he was always good in the regular season. But,
Right.
I mean, like when we made this trade for Deshaun, everybody was like, "Well, if we don't win a Super Bowl, was this worth it?" Like, well, why wouldn't it be worth it?
Yeah.
You go to the playoff.
But ultimately, that's what you want. That's
what you want.
Right.
But to say if we don't win a Super Bowl in the next 10 years that it was a failure. What if we go to the playoffs 8 out of those 10 or 9 out of those 10 years?
What if it would have
win 6 divisions?
Right.
Like, we were never doing any of that with Baker.
Well, my thing is how far did we get in the playoffs between 99 and 2009? So you got to look, right, I agree with you. You have to look at it that way.
Right, like, let's
how many
just
playoff games did we make?
Get to the dance, you have a shot.
Right.
It takes so many lucky bounces, everything has to be right for you to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
You should know that here in Cleveland.
Right.
Like, it probably ain't gonna happen this year, but I will put money that in the next 5 years we'll be in the playoffs at least 4 times.
Yeah, probably.
Barring major catastrophic injury.
Right. That's always a problem.
That is what you want. Like, I want to see some division championship banners up in First Energy Stadium.
Me too. Me too.
We haven't won a division since I've been breathing.
Right.
So why don't we start there and then, but that's what the Cowboys, he's good enough to be there and they're going to have a shot every year. And that's what you want.
That's true.
And I think his upside's good enough to be a top 10 quarterback, and that's all you can hope for. I mean, unless you want to tank and go, get the first pick overall, and if there's a quarterback that's available that you really love.
Right.
I mean, that's what you got to do, build a team around him.
Well, you got to stop all these people talking about Cooper Rush too. Just stop.
Jesus.
Cooper Rush is not Dak Prescott. And like I said, I'm not a Dak Prescott hater. I'm just reading some of what's been going on here the last couple weeks. And but I agree with you. I was going to bring that up. I mean, Dallas gave up 503 yards of offense. Now some of that came in overtime. But still, I mean, 400 came up in regulation. So
I mean, Trevor Lawrence
has
been like one of the top quarterbacks since like week 9.
Yeah. He had 4 touchdowns in this game, by the way.
And they have some good pieces around him.
Yeah.
And they started off the year hot. I don't know what happened in the middle of the season.
I don't either.
I think they're probably gonna be the favorites next year to win that division.
Right, and actually right now, because of the Titans' 3-game skid, I mean, they're only one back.
Shot.
They're one back right now. So I think that Jets-Jags game is going to be
huge.
It's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, both teams have a lot.
It may not be a high-scoring game, but I mean, it's going to be physical. I mean, it's going to be
And that's how Saturday should be for us.
Right, but I did want to kind of throw this out here. I know this is a little bit of bias here, but I got to throw this. And this is some show that Shady McCoy's on, but he's basically talking about Dak Prescott.
First of all, first of all, Dak is ass. Right? That's on TV. Okay, that's one thing. This is the second game that he just lost by throwing picks. He threw 2 picks to the Packers, where I had a 14-point lead, lost, come back. It was up 17. My man, 17 and lost. G with the Niners. Great defense.
He runs the
Run
point.
the ball very well. Make safe passes. Dak has the easiest job in football. The basic throwing doesn't even like. He's not even trying to like fit the ball through the needles or small little windows. These are easy passes. They run the ball well. What else can you do? I'm paying you $160 million. That's how you play. If you tell me that's outstanding, I don't know what to say. Like I'm lost for words.
Top 10 passer rating for the week.
Man, I don't care. You keep talking about these numbers. When you watch this, Matt, when you watch the game with your eyes, the same eyes that you have, I have two eyes too. I watched the same game. It looked trash.
Anyway, we're gonna throw that out there for you, but I mean, now, LaShawn McCoy, Shane McCoy, he was an Eagle, so I mean, let's just start there.
Right.
And his hate for the Cowboys, period.
And then was in the league for another 4 years.
Yeah, with Buffalo.
Somehow got a Super Bowl ring with Tom.
Right. Well, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But anyway, I just happened to stumble across this show that has Shady McCoy on it. I'm like, okay, here we go. I gotta bring this up. Of course, I was formulating my own opinions here before I even watched that. I just happened to see that one night. I'm like, yeah, I gotta bring this up. So, let's see, Prescott. Yeah, we talked about Prescott a little bit. Oh yeah, back to Lawrence. Like I said, 4 touchdowns, 3 to Zay Jones. That guy's really balling out this year. Lawrence 318 yards, had an interception and a fumble. Actually, so that game may not even have been that close. I mean, if it wasn't for his pick and a fumble there, and I think there was another fumble on there, but yeah, the Jags potentially could have really ran away with that game with 503 yards. They probably should have.
They're, like I said, they're hot right now.
Yeah, they are. And hats off to Doug Peterson there. And
I knew that was going to work.
And I think the catalyst of it, really, when you think about 2-3 weeks ago when he decided to go for that 2-point conversion to win the game. Big ball Doug there. Maybe it wasn't big Dick Nick, but Big Ball Peters. Just maybe he was the guy. I think Philly kind of prematurely fired him.
Oh, that dude Carson Wentz is a cancer. Jesus, dude.
He is.
He took that fucking ship down hard.
Well, and who knows? I mean, was Carson Wentz kind of Peterson's pick? I don't know. I mean, it had something to do with it. As far as the Philadelphia getting rid of him, but who knows? On to another crazy game here.
Actually, definitely watched all that.
Yeah, Vikings 39, Colts 36. Largest comeback victory in the history of the NFL, and I watched the one before this. It was in a divisional playoff. It was
Buffalo. And,
Buffalo and
Miami.
Oilers. No, it was the Oilers.
Was it Oilers?
Yeah, it was Warren Moon.
Oh yeah.
Frank the Third Reich. That's a notorious game. Yeah, I remember watching that game as a kid.
Yeah, because a bunch of people left.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
They left, and then from what is my understanding that they were hearing on the radio, turned their cars back around, went to the stadium, and they wouldn't let them back in. And then all of a sudden, they just told them to open the gates, and anybody that wanted to come in could come in. And it was just like standing room only.
Yeah.
In there. Yeah, I remember that game. It was just absolutely crazy. So, Vikings, all kinds of turnover problems in the first half, including a blocked punt for a score, and a fumble by Dalvin Cook, and a pick six given up by your boy Kirk Cousins there, Mark's boy. So, Colts led 33-0 at the half. Vikings came back to tie.
For whatever reason, when I was watching that first half, I was like, the Vikings are going to make a game of this.
Yeah.
Like,
even at 33-0, you still thought that was going to happen?
Yeah. Even when they did like that first drive, they got stopped. The Vikings did. I mean, they didn't score until there was probably 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Yeah. Well, it's kind of flipping around when this game. When I saw it, I'm like, oh,
right.
Then I saw Cousins had the pick six. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. So, but then as the game got tighter and tighter, I'm like, okay, I got to start watching some of this game. I got to watch this game, and then I ended up just watching the rest of the game, and it was just absolutely crazy.
Well, who was? And they get forward. Jefferson Osborne. Osborne had a fucking day.
Yeah, he did.
He made some big ass plays.
Yes, he did.
Over the middle of the field to get them back in position and striking distance.
And actually, the Colts, they have a pretty even though they are a shit team, their pass defense is ranked really high in the NFL.
Yeah, they
believe
got
it or not.
Stephon Gilmore. They got some
Yeah.
pass rushers.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, their Vikings came back to tie the game in regulation before finally sealing the game on their second possession in overtime with a field goal. I mean, my takeaway from this, my takeaway is this. It takes a lot, and if you want to call the Vikings, I know there's a lot of those Vikings fans out there calling this the team of destiny. I mean, I'm going to put the brakes on that.
Yeah.
But, they have had some squeakers this year, including that win in Buffalo, which Buffalo just handed them that game, basically. But this game here, I just have to... The team, I have to believe, is all in. If you're down 33-0 at the half, you're all in as a team. And so that
I would
coach,
love to
he's
hear that
doing
halftime
something right.
speech.
He's doing something. I mean, because they're not giving up, that's for sure.
Yeah, their defense turned it up in that second half, and they're not a defensive team.
No, actually, I would say that their defense is probably going to be their
Achilles heel.
undoing.
They're like what we were in 2020.
Yeah.
All offense, enough. Defense has to make turnovers to win you games.
Right.
But the Vikings almost got screwed. That fumble recovery for a touchdown.
That was a touchdown. I watched that. That was a scoop and score. That guy's knee never hit the ground.
Wasn't close.
It wasn't close. I don't know how that happened, but it should.
The guy was standing there staring at it.
Yeah, it should have never came down to
So
that.
there would have been 3 minutes left. The game would have, even if they would have missed the 2-point conversion, which they ended up getting later.
But it wouldn't matter. They would have been ahead of the Colts at that point.
No, they wouldn't have been ahead.
Were they?
No, they were down by 8.
Oh,
They
okay.
had to make that stop, and then they threw that screen pass, and then
But I thought that's the one that put them up to get them tied.
yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's right. You're right.
They didn't. There wasn't shit for time left.
Right.
So I mean, there would have been 3 minutes left. Indianapolis wasn't doing shit with the ball. They would have had a chance to get the ball and go down there and kick a field goal.
Right.
The game could have been over in regulation, which would have been even more insane for how far back they were. 33 points.
And Cousins was 34 for 54 for 460 yards. 4 touchdowns and 2 picks. Cousins hitting 4 different receivers, Jefferson, Osborne, Thielen, and Cook. The Vikings, though, do have the Giants up next. I think the Giants are probably going into this. They have nothing to lose mentality, although, I mean, they're definitely in the playoff hunt. I mean, all 4 of those NFC East teams could make
I think the
essentially
Giants
make the
have like
playoffs.
a 90% chance to be in
I
the
mean, but I
playoffs.
think they're gonna be all in on this one. So, but I did find out this little nugget though. So the Vikings, who have the Giants next, the Giants blitz more than any other team in football. Kirk Cousins is dead last in the league in air yards against the blitz. 5.3 yards is his average. We're gonna find out.
Is it in Minneapolis?
I think it's in New York. Actually, I think it is in New York. Look that up too. I should have looked that up before the game, or for the pot. I could be wrong, but I thought for some reason it was in New York.
It's in Minnesota.
It is in Minnesota. Okay, all right.
Yep. I would give just because the Giants their offense is
It's not good.
not good. So if they let Minnesota hang around that game, I just don't see how they pull it out. But I mean, Giants are tough. They are with the record as 8-5-1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Raiders 30, Patriots 24. Just when you thought the NFL couldn't get any crazier. Biggest comeback ever. We have this game.
I watched it while we were messaging.
Oh my
why that
goodness, we
happened.
were texting back and forth, and then all of a sudden I went to do something, and then I got this text from you like, "What did the Patriots just do there?" I'm like, "What are we talking about?" So I had to get back on there, and I'm like,
What the fuck
"What are we
is
talking
that?
about? The game's over, and it was going to go into overtime."
Right.
I think that's what it was. I went to go take a squeege or something, and then I'm like, "This game's going to go overtime," and I got plenty of time.
The first time they made a lateral, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah. So, Bill Belichick after this.
Oh, dude.
But we're going to show you the video. I'm sure if you're an NFL fan, if you haven't seen this video yet.
Got to be the worst way to lose a game of all time saying that as a Browns fan.
Yeah. I mean, I was just waiting for you know the old memes of the Scooby-Doo where Fred's like pulling off the monster's head.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be Jacoby Myers. And he was going to be like a Browns player underneath him. And he's just absolutely terrible. And
Mac Hollins out on defense. He's all the way back.
Nope.
Stevenson. That's on the 30. Flips it back. Stanford band nowhere in sight. It's picked off. Oh no! Unbelievable! Oh wow! Incredible! Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders.
so,
Cam Irving.
oh jeez. But anyway, so Bill Belichick commenting to reporters post game as to why they didn't just try to have Mac Jones throw a Hail Mary at his own 45, and his response, we can't throw the ball that far. We can't throw the ball that far. Wait a minute. Well, we can't throw the ball that far. It was something like
in
that.
a dome? Fuck, I could probably throw
Yeah.
50 yards now and my shoulder would pop out, but I'd probably do it.
Can't throw the ball that far. So,
The fact that team is 7-7 is still.
can I ask you this too?
unbelievable.
Where's Zappy? It seemed like this team was like super motivated, and now you bring Mac Jones in, which is kind of like vanilla. By the way, Mac Jones stats in this game.
Is he like a new age Jay Cutler? Like his body language is
It's just
horrible all
not.
the time.
I agree. We see him out there like pregame next week, and he's got like a smoke hanging out the corner of his mouth, like a Marlboro Red. I'm like, oh, jeez. But where is Zappy at? Because Mac Jones, not good. 13 of 31 for 112 yards. A 12.2 QBR. I didn't look this up. That might be the record low of the whole NFL this year. I'm not sure.
I think Baker was at that was his average.
That was his
5
average.
Like I'm not joking.
Okay. Hey, that's fine.
No, seriously.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure in week 6 his average was it was 18 or something. So he had to have a game that was worse than that.
But 13 for 31? Wow. 112 yards.
Especially when you're running the football that well.
Well, and that's the thing is, so Ramondre Stevenson showing up again. This guy's just an absolute animal.
It doesn't help that you have a defensive coordinator calling your plays.
Yeah, and he was, it's true, Matt Patricia. But he's banked, so Matt Patricia is Dan Campbell except low key. Like he's
just an asshole.
He is. He's an asshole.
Oh, yo.
Yeah. We should just put Patricia's head up there and just do a Dennis Leary asshole montage. But he is. But he's like Dan Campbell, but without any excitement.
Or the greatest voice ever.
Yeah. Yeah. We just couldn't throw that far.
Just couldn't throw that far.
So Ramondre Stevenson, 19 for 172 yards, though, and a touchdown, of course. But he started the lateral montage on what would have done them in, and then
who threw it? It was Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers threw it.
When I seen him jump up in the air and come
like,
back.
what is he
I'm
doing?
like, there's no way he's throwing that. There's no way he's throwing that. And when it went in the air, I'm like, I don't even see a fucking Patriot player standing there.
He's trying to throw it back to Mac Jones. Which if he knew that Mac Jones was 13 or 31, he probably wouldn't have thrown it to him.
Not even that. You're throwing it 30 yards behind you to probably the most unathletic dude on the field.
Absolutely.
And the throw too, like it was a dart right to Chandler Jones.
Oh yeah.
Like he snatched that, and then the truck stick that was ensued.
Jacoby Myers, to his credit, took just absolute blame for this. But,
do you know how much I would fucking hate Jacoby Myers?
Oh my goodness! We were talking about it too, and I was like, "Do you think Bill Belichick's just going to throw him out on McCarron's runway, 2-3 runway, just before the plane even gets off the ground?" Like Jacoby Myers thinks he's fine, and it's going to be like the Bill father. Comes in there and off Jacoby Myers in the blue water of the bathroom of the plane. I mean, it's just terrible.
Yeah, if he dies of something over the off season, let's just know what happened.
Anyway, Derek Carr not too much better here, but he did have 3 touchdowns on the day. But
And they got lucky with that touchdown call.
yeah,
Yeah,
they did, and I've looked at that a few times.
I mean, I guess it was called a touchdown, but it still seemed to me like there was enough there to overturn it.
Probably.
But I don't care. We needed them to lose.
Yeah, right.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
The fuck are the Patriots
Yeah.
going to do in the playoffs?
At one point in the fourth quarter, though, when they needed Derek Carr the most, he was 0 for 6, about to be 0 for 7.
And then he turned it on.
Yeah, 20 and 38. Yeah, he did have that last drive where he had that touchdown, long
I just
touchdown
don't get
pass.
how they're that bad on offense.
I don't either. Well, and the thing about it is, I was going to bring this up, is Josh McDaniels. This may have saved his job for the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if they can somehow wiggle their way into an 8-9, he's going to be back next year.
Yeah.
I just, all that they have on offense. Darren Waller, probably one of the best tight ends in the league. Probably have the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Top 5 running back in the league.
I did want to bring that up, though. There's just stat-wise. And this has been a problem all season. But Devontae Adams, 4 receptions for 28 yards on 9 targets. He had 9 targets. Okay, so that's good. But we know the problem isn't Devontae Adams. Okay, the problem is Derek Carr not getting the ball
He's
to
still
Devontae
like
Adams.
top 5 in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, but I've seen several games like this all season. And I get it, that Keenan Cole, Hollins, and Waller each had a touchdown, but if you got at least arguably a top 3 receiver in the league, and that guy is only getting 28 yards,
Yeah.
but he's only getting 4 receptions on 9 targets, there's a problem.
Well, but Bill likes to take away what he do best.
That's
probably what they do best, other than Josh Jacobs.
I have a couple things I might just. How should I put this? I'm just going to throw this out there. I think there's definitely a couple things that could happen here. Now, and I think I made this prediction earlier in a podcast, but I can definitely see Aaron Rodgers going to Vegas.
I thought he was going to do that this year.
Yeah, but I mean, I could definitely see him meeting up with
You think
Devontae Adams.
They just swap Carr for Rodgers?
They might, or
You'd have to send a pick from.
Or I could see this too. I could see it being like a 3-way deal where like the Colts get involved and somehow they end up with Derek Carr.
Jesus.
And they try to recycle another quarterback. I could see it.
I mean, you think Indianapolis? I mean, they're fans.
Jordan Love can't be it, can he?
No, absolutely not.
I would think not. But I mean,
I would just like to know if Aaron really wants to keep playing.
But now that Josh McDaniels is there, and I'm sure Josh McDaniels doesn't really want Derek Carr. I don't know that for a fact, but generally you want to try to get your own quarterback in there. I mean, I think it happened with us. I mean, Stefanski wanted to get Baker wasn't his guy. He wanted to get somebody else, and him and Barry got together and hey, would you devise a plan? And we got Watson. Now that Brock Purdy is on the up and up, and McDaniels and Jimmy G. I think that's a real possibility too, that somehow Jimmy G ends up in Las Vegas with McDaniels. So, I don't know.
That'll be a great discussion in the offseason.
Jacoby Brissett could end up with the Raiders. Back with Josh McDaniels. I don't think that's going to be the long-term.
I don't know where Jacoby goes at this point because Jared Goff's going to have his job there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Flip a coin though with those two. I could actually make the argument Jacoby Brissett's more consistent. I mean, Goff can have just a great game, and then he's just ass on the road. So,
I would probably. I mean, Goff's been to a Super Bowl. He's gonna. I just don't see them getting off of him with that. Because I still think they'd have to pay a lot of salary cap penalty on that if they cut him. And the Lions are having a great comeback season here.
They are.
I don't know where Jacoby would go. I mean, Vegas, yeah, but I think they would just stick with Carr unless they're going to trade him away to Indianapolis.
I think Carr's gone.
Indianapolis might be where fucking Jacoby goes back to.
He could, yeah, it could be. But I think in the back.
Or Jacoby could be your backup.
He could.
You never know.
That'd be great. But I think in the behind the scenes with Mark Davis. Not that he has, he's any kind of sage at all, but I think that's somehow how McDaniels could. Let's say the Raiders drop the next 3, he could keep his job and just say, Mr. Davis, give me one more year, but I want to get my quarterback. It could be some kind
I
of
don't
deal.
see them get rid of McDaniels that quickly.
I wouldn't think
Especially
so either.
because they're not very cash rich. I mean, I
No,
guess
they're
they
not.
are now.
Well, they're already still
They're
paying on Gruden's contract, I think.
Yeah. You keep moving this copy tape.
Oh, I'm sorry. Big ass is moving. Anyway, we're just kind of getting off the path here. All right, Bills 32, Fins 29. Really, I watched all this game. Very back and forth game.
I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, Bills came up strong in the fourth quarter to tie the game with a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, and then it had a game-winning field goal. The guys were out there actually at the timeout, and they were actually like, I guess, I didn't even know this was a rule, but I guess you can't use anything to clear the snow off the field except your own body. So like all the linemen were out there, and they're like, look like kids in the sandbox, just throwing the snow out of Bass's way, for the game-winning kick. I just want to say this though too, and I'm not a Tua fan, and that's fine. But Tua earlier in the week, when he was asked about the snow, he says, "quote We've gotten snow in Alabama before." Okay, stop. All right, Buffalo's in the snow belt. All right, there's a big difference. It's lake effect snow. It can be 2 inches of snow, and all of a sudden you have 2 feet of snow up your ass. This isn't Alabama like sugar snow, that kind of deal. I mean, you could be driving down the road in your car. You got to go get something at the Piggly Wiggly, a gallon of milk per se, and then all of a sudden lake effect shit just dumps. And before you know it, you're out there with your own boot trying to dig yourself a tunnel out of there to get your car out.
Right.
This is real snow, Tua. Okay? I mean, the flakes come down and lake effect snow like
And they
pineapples
stay there.
come down in Oahu. Quick.
Yeah.
But I think that the Bills Mafia want to kind of remind him of that too. So they had an all-out air assault with the snowballs. And this was just great. At one point, they had to stop the game and warn the fans that the Bills would receive a 15-yard penalty if the game got stopped again. The Bills Mafia.
Down there giving the business.
So.
Oh, and if that shit would have happened in Cleveland, we'd be the biggest assholes on the planet.
Right. Oh, yeah. Mark was even talking about Mark not here tonight, but he was even talking about it too. He's like, is the media like just supporting the Bills Mafia? Choking on their dildos. And the Browns do something, and we're just like this shit fan base.
Right.
But speaking of dildos, of course, the Bills Mafia is notorious for throwing the random dildo or two out in the end zone also during the games. But so I was wondering to myself, I'm like, all these snowballs, there's no dildos hitting the field, and then I saw this big old guy come flying in there and land right in front of Tua.
Needs a shave.
Yeah, he does. So, all right, Ryan. I think we're going to go ahead and move on to our Crying Jordan segment. And because there was so many this week, we decided to maybe just do a Crying Jordan montage this week. So we're going to go ahead and start off. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Patriots here, and the whole Patriots logo and Belichick. Yeah. That guy there is just
one of the worst losses
hilarious.
I've ever seen. It might be worse than what the Colts let up, just from how it ended.
Right.
God, and we got to get one on Mac Jones for just getting pile drive to the ground.
Yes.
Like he went full bruiser on Madden and just fucking threw him.
Yeah. Was it Nathan Hobbs? Was that the back? Who was that? The back that slammed Mac Jones to the ground.
No, it was Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
What would I say? Something Hobbs?
Yeah.
Nathan Hobbs. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, yeah, just absolutely just Derrick Henry.
Yeah, threw him in the next week.
And I'm gonna have to throw this one out there. Got the Steve Buscemi on Matt Ryan here. Just
That's great.
what are we doing? Still owe me a McMuffin. And of course, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to go with that one. That's for certain. Jerry Jones. Yeah, Jerry Jones. Yeah, boy, oh boy, poor guy. He actually looks better.
Yeah, he does.
Looks better there. Okay,
You
guys.
got a little something.
I'm gonna throw this one out there for all the soccer fans. Of course, Mark's not with us tonight, but
They played soccer?
yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah.
So the World Cup final. Oh, France here just biting it. Just absolutely terrible. Oh boy. And what else do we have here? What else we got lined up? The Titans. Yeah, there's probably one out. There's one out there for the Titans. Yeah, there's definitely one for the Titans. We got them. We got them covered. But I had to throw this one up there. So last night we made chili, not Cincinnati style. But I have to throw this out there. So tonight I was going to use like the leftover chili and go ahead and do like the Cincinnati 2-way or whatever they call it, 6-way, whatever, and throw this out there. So my poor kids though, they just weren't having it.
That's going to be the winner.
Oh boy. All right, so we did a little bit of a Thanksgiving theme for Thanksgiving. I think we were matching up our favorite side dishes or dishes for Thanksgiving to quarterbacks in the league. So, of course, we're going to have to do something for Christmas. So, this one's going to be Christmas gifts for NFL coaches or owners. And we're going to start off with Mike McCarthy. And the gift he's getting this year is an Apple Watch. So he can keep track of the game clock.
He is probably the worst game clock manager.
He's not good. He's not good.
God damn it.
Poor asshole. Brandon Staley, we're going old school. He's getting a copy of Tecmo Bowl. Simplify his offensive concepts. There's only 4 plays to choose from. Just
I think he needs Tecmo Bowl and an Apple Watch himself too.
right. Kevin Stefanski, 12-pack of Red Bull and trip to the local strip club, kind of loosen him up a little bit. I mean, I'm sure Chief knows some places up in Cleveland.
So you just go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Right. We got a couple for Mike Brown here.
Owner of the Bengals, if you don't know.
Owner of the Bengals, yes. We were going to go ahead and get him an infinite Skyway chili gift card for an entire year. But more importantly, we were probably going to go ahead and give him a Dick's Sporting Goods gift card so that he has the money to buy new jock straps for all his players.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard that story about like when they had to dump. Did you ever hear that? Hushmanzada was talking about it on Colin Cowherd's. Yeah, they basically had like all these used jock straps. They dumped it in the middle of like training camp. And they're like,
God,
here you go. No, this is a real story.
It reminds me of fucking The Longest
They
Yard.
had no Gatorade, no bottled water.
They're just drinking from a fucking water bottle.
Yeah, they didn't care. They just like, I think they like refilled water bottles with like Ohio River water.
It's just,
it was bad.
Even when they were like pretty good too back then, like they didn't have the fan support. And I just see all these Bengals fans like, oh, it's weird that people. It's like, I've never seen this many Bengals fans in my life since last year.
No, No.
Like all of a sudden, everybody's Bengals fan. It's like, who gives a shit?
Right.
I really hope they don't win a playoff game this year.
Me too. So much for the Bengals not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have. They're at least going to get at least a wild card. More than likely, things are looking like they're going to win the division. So Jim Irsay is getting an Al-Anon 3-day sober coin. He's just gradually going to get for every week, go to a week, then 2 weeks, a month.
Goes to the meeting, then
we're going to go ahead and just keep giving him Alcoholics Anonymous coins.
Goes and gets hammered immediately. Probably doing some blow with some hookers.
Dan Snyder, we're going to get him a no means no Barbie. Okay, so, no means no Bahama Barbie. That's what we're going to get him.
Might need to get a bail.
Right? He'll get out of jail free card from Monopoly.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
And finally, Nathaniel Hackett. We're going to get him a subscription to the Denver Post so he can start looking for classified ads.
How is he not fired?
I don't know.
They're 3-10, right? Or are they 3-11? Or no, they won.
I don't. Yeah, they beat. They beat. Mark
Arizona.
Mark Rippon's son.
Yeah.
Came in there, which he came in for a couple games last year, I think, during injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if they would have won 8-9 this year, and whatever.
Well, and
that's one thing.
I predicted they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah. Well, I think I might even had them win that division. I'm pretty sure none of us had Kansas City win that division. It looks like it's not even going to be close.
Yeah.
Of course, the Chargers.
Well,
the Chargers can make it interesting.
Brandon Staley can't coach for shit, dude. That team it's like the AFC version of the Niners. They have something everywhere.
And just want to say this too. Of course, we missed the pod last week. Actually recorded a whole podcast. Didn't have the sound. That's okay. Shit happens. But I'm going to throw this out there. I threw it out there last week. Of course, we didn't get a pod out. Of course, we want you to go ahead and subscribe and share, like on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all our social media platforms, Instagram. We're going to do a giveaway this week just because we're in the holiday spirit. If you have to like and share our posts on or any of our clips to everybody, your
and if you subscribe, comment subscribe because we can't see.
Yes, please.
We can't see who subscribes.
But we definitely want you to share. Yes, we definitely want you to share any of our snippets we might put out there on TikTok or Facebook. If you go ahead and do that, you're automatically going to be put in a randomized drawing for a free giveaway to a Raw Doggers t-shirt.
And how many are we going to give away?
I don't know. We really talk about it. What do you think?
Probably depends on how many. Say every
20. 20 goes another shirt.
Yeah, every 20 shares.
20 shares.
Yeah,
we'll throw another shirt out.
Yep.
We'll throw it in. We'll
cap it at 10 now.
Yeah, we'll cap it at 10. Yeah, that's a good number. We'll cap it at 10. I mean, that's fantastic. So, like I said, share any of these clips. Of course, yeah, we can't track it on YouTube, but I mean, if you could just, we'll go kind of use, honesty there.
Just comment.
Just comment.
Subscribe.
Yep, subscribe.
But share.
Like and share. Definitely on Facebook and TikTok, Instagram. So that's gonna be it, Ryan. I think go Browns on Saturday. Browns. Just keep going, one game at a time.
One game at a time. Let's finish the season with a winning record.
Yep, absolutely. And let's hopefully Mike Tomlin finishes under 500. So I'll have to keep hearing that bullshit.
Yeah, that definitely would make my heart warm as well.
Yeah, it would. That would. Okay, folks. Raw Doggers out.
Raw Doggers out.